Hi, it's Rich Hoffman here. Some news on the Butler County Commissioner race for 2026. Michael Ryan has picked up the official endorsement for the Republican Party. That's good news. Not that it's all that surprising. He's running against Roger Reynolds, who I've supported in the past. I like Roger, but not for this job. And he's running against the incumbent, Cindy Carpenter, who is typically the endorsed candidate in these kinds of things. She's been there for a long time as commissioner. Problem is, she turned out to be a Democrat. She got caught campaigning for Democrats and with the Republican endorsement in the past, and that's changed her fate quite a lot, and the people who would probably support her otherwise. So this time, and I think it's a great pick, and he's a wonderful candidate, full of all kinds of ambition. It's a person I've personally endorsed, but Michael Ryan, he's the future for, I think, when you look at the Republican Party as it's formed, as it's evolved over time. People like Michael Ryan, who is currently vice mayor of Hamilton, Ohio, they have a lot of good to offer the world in the future. And I think the biggest attribute for him, and the vote to endorse him wasn't really close. I think he had 71% of the vote total, which is really spectacular. And that means, and Roger Reynolds is well known in political circles. The problem is, this is about building trust and unity, and how can you build a team? And you want commissioners who can build and assemble teams and get people to work together instead of against each other. And that's really the theme, I think, when you start looking at the post-MAGA party of Republicans, as opposed to politics in the past, where politics is a blood sport, everybody gets it. But how can you bring people together and negotiate good things for the people who elect you? And Michael Ryan has certainly shown that. He's shown that in the city of Hamilton over and over again, and it made him pretty much a slam dunk kind of candidate for this one, where the Republican Party easily rallied behind him. And we'll make it so that everybody will be able to rally behind him for the election as well. He really is the best person for commissioner. I've met a lot of these political figures, and he's certainly one of those people. It's just he is what he is as advertised. Just a nice guy who has good business sense and knows how to get people to sit at the table and talk. I've seen him do it over and over again, and he's going to be a really good commissioner. So the Republican Party has endorsed him overwhelmingly. Now, of course, Roger Reynolds has indicated that with or without the endorsement, he plans to continue. For him, this is he's looking for revenge of the way he was treated from some inter-party squabbles that went on, and that the problem with that is it's not the fairness of it, it's that he ended up in the squabbles to begin with, and you just don't want people in these positions that can't get along with other people, that have conflicts. If you can't bring people together, you're going to have a hard time working in an office like that. So, but he's indicated he's going to run anyway, and that he has $125,000 of money that he's going to put into the campaign. And so he's going to, I guess, everyone will find out how much yard signs can buy you, and how much money you can spend in order to persuade people to vote for you. But I don't think it's going to work. I think it takes a lot more than money these days to convince people. There's just too much media out there that's alternative, that you can't buy your way through ads and placement through typical newspapers and news stations, because nobody watches them anymore. People tend to get their media in other ways, and I think typically, and the media outlets will tell you that because they want the politicians to spend the money on the advertising, but it doesn't buy what it used to. So I don't know that Roger Reynolds could spend $200,000 or $1 million on this campaign and change the problems that he has going into this. I would have told him if he had asked. You probably need to give yourself a couple years to rebuild your brand after all the trouble that he found himself in. Fair or not, you got to go out and rebuild the brand. You probably need to get behind some people, help build coalitions within the party politics, but you don't just come out there to kind of stick it to everybody. That's not how. That's not going to help. And then if you have another major loss in this commissioner race, then it's only going to hurt you build your brand in the future. Really kind of need to get in there and help people like Michael Ryan and others get in there and start being a leader and show that you can help people get across the finish line instead of working against them. That's the way to get back on top. You can't just go in there and throw a bunch of money at it and expect everybody to say, oh, he's a great guy. You got to overcome the impression people have that there's something wrong. And so I don't know that $1 million would help him. But on Michael Ryan's side, he has raised really an enormous amount of money. I think he's right around $100,000 right now. For a county commissioner position, you have to figure out that you have to reach all parts of the county. Butler County is a pretty big county, a lot of people in it. I think it's around 400,000 people, I think. There's a lot of people, and a lot of different market sectors within that county. So that's a lot to spread around and get into advertisements, yard signs, and all the things it takes. He's at a very good rate, and that's only going to improve. And $100,000, I think, does it. I think $100,000 and an endorsement for the Republican Party is probably all he needs. But you can't take anything for granted. Donations certainly are encouraged, and if he has to raise $200,000 or $300,000 or $500,000, so be it. It takes a lot of yard signs, and people steal the yard signs, so you got to keep putting them out. It takes a lot of yard signs across a big county to make sure that everybody knows that you're the person. But when it comes down to it, the endorsement on election day is the main thing. But you still have an incumbent who's decided to run independent, essentially, Cindy Carpenter, because she got caught campaigning for Democrats. So it's still tricky business. And she didn't seek the Republican endorsement because she knew she wouldn't get it. Roger did, and he didn't get it, lost pretty overwhelmingly. So that should tell everybody kind of where things reside in the entire campaign. But on a completely positive note, it's just good to see good people like Michael Ryan getting an endorsement. And I said early in the process, well ahead of the primary, and this is, it's good. He's worked. I wouldn't say he worked hard. He's been diligent and consistent for a long time. He announced well in advance of this 2026 season that he was going to be commissioner, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's fluid about it, where it's just part of his life, and he's not psycho like some politicians get, where they've just got to have it. He's just been consistent and steady on building his brand into a commissioner seat from being vice mayor, and he has so much support. There's so many people that have so many good things to say about him, and that comes from people who work with him. And when you have that many people who just like you, it makes it very easy to get people to the table to talk. And that's in these commissioner races. That's I think that's what everybody wants. We've seen different variables of commissioners that have been out there that sometimes it goes to their heads. It's a lot of power. You control that much of the purse strings, and it can. We've been pretty good in Butler County. We have a couple really good commissioners, I think, that are probably I don't know how long they want to keep doing it, but we got to start thinking about building another generation of commissioners, and Michael Ryan is a nice steady hand to get in there and really kind of cascade off what's been good. Cindy Carpenter, I wouldn't say has been good at all for the whole time she's been there. It's always been kind of a joke that she was a Democrat, And then when she got caught campaigning for a Democrat mayor in Middletown, Ohio, that didn't go over very well. People haven't forgotten. And she certainly wasn't going to get the endorsement for the Republican Party because she had pretty much thrown it away in the past. So I'm happy that the Republican Party is getting behind Michael Ryan. He deserves it. But so does Butler County. They deserve a good person for this. And I'm just happy to see that it's happening in that way. You don't often get to have these kinds of stories where a really good person is up for one of these roles and people see it clearly. Even when there's three options, it's pretty clear that Michael Ryan's the guy. And even, the brand name that Roger Reynolds has, even with the damage that he has currently, he's a well-known figure, and people see early on in the process. And it would be nice if it could be not a negative campaign with Michael Ryan. That's he's all about leaning forward. You don't have to get into the mudslinging too much when it comes to this, and he certainly doesn't. He just does his thing, and it's good to see. It's just good to see a good campaign, and Michael Ryan embodies that. So I'm just happy to see him get the Republican endorsement. He deserves it, and the amount of money you have to raise for these campaigns is certainly high. He certainly has it, and if Roger Reynolds wants to spend that much money on something that isn't going to turn out very well for him, that's on him. I would advise him not to. Again, I would say go out there and rebuild your brand, be helpful, get back in the party, and build some bridges. Don't burn them down. But right now, there's too many burnt bridges. And if you really want to be helpful for the years to come, we need a whole bunch of Michael Ryans out there. We need more than just this commissioner seat. It's just nice to have one guy like Michael Ryan, but we need a whole lot more. School board seats, council member seats, trustees everywhere. There's a whole lot of positions that need some leadership, and if I was Roger Reynolds, I would focus on trying to help some of those folks get in good seats and build your way back into it instead of trying to be divisive. But that's just some friendly advice. $125,000 is a lot of money to spend on another disappointment, and I wouldn't want to see that happen. Anyway, it's Rich Hoffman here. Share, subscribe, make tomorrow a better day. If you haven't read my book, The Gunfighter's Guide to Business, I think you'll love it. And when it comes to time to vote for Michael Ryan, enjoy yourself. It's a good vote, and it'll certainly help in Butler County to give us some options that we long have deserved in county politics. Michael Ryan for Butler County Commissioner. Anyway, have a good day and see you later.